The WNBA playoffs should have been a celebration of athletic excellence, but instead, they've become the center of one of the most explosive controversies in recent sports memory. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White didn't just voice her frustration, she tore the lid off a scandal that has shaken the faith of fans across the nation. With a -31 free throw discrepancy staring back at her, White's disbelief was shared by millions who watched the games unfold. Her words, measured yet charged with emotion, spoke to something deeper than numbers. "The disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable," she said. And just like that, the league's dirty laundry was out in the open. For years, whispers of bias and questionable officiating had drifted through WNBA conversations. But this time, those whispers erupted into a roar. What was supposed to be a semi-final showdown between the Indiana Fever and Las Vegas Aces turned into a battle not just for a win, but for the league's integrity. Clip after clip flooded social media. Phantom fouls, missed calls, and plays so inconsistent they seemed to mock the idea of fairness. Fans, commentators, and even rival supporters agreed on one thing: something was off. For every clean block that was called a foul and every obvious hack that went unnoticed, the credibility of the game took another hit. The Fever weren't just playing against the Aces, they were battling the stripes. 2. The fallout was immediate and widespread. Analysts broke down footage frame by frame, fans created slow-motion compilations, and hashtags demanding accountability began trending. In a rare twist, even supporters of opposing teams began defending the Fever. "I don't even like Indiana," one viral post read, "but this officiating is disgraceful." It's one thing for fans to complain about a few bad calls, but when the collective outrage becomes universal, it signals something far more dangerous: a crisis of trust. White's call for a league-wide investigation didn't just echo through sports talk shows. It ignited a national conversation about transparency, corruption, and the unseen forces shaping outcomes in professional sports. And it wasn't just about statistics or numbers, it was about moments. Key possessions swung wildly due to questionable calls. Every whistle carried the sting of injustice. Every no call became a scar. For the Fever players, it was demoralizing to pour heart and effort into every possession only to feel the game slipping away, due to factors beyond their control. For Las Vegas, even victory came tainted. The shadow of doubt loomed so heavily that no highlight could truly shine. The semifinals, meant to define a season, were instead defining a scandal. Beneath the controversy, however, lay moments of genuine heroism that were tragically overshadowed. Lexie Hull, battling through injury, played with the kind of heart that turns athletes into legends. Each time she hit the floor, the crowd could feel her will to fight through pain. Aliyah Boston, the Fever's defensive anchor, delivered one of the best performances of her career, neutralizing A'ja Wilson, arguably the league's most dominant player, with surgical precision. Her defense was poetry in motion, disciplined, unyielding, and intelligent. But none of that made the headlines. The brilliance of Hull and Boston was buried beneath endless debates about officiating. Instead of celebrating courage and excellence, fans were left dissecting foul counts and frame-by-frame breakdowns. The story wasn't supposed to end this way. Stephanie White's demand for a full-scale investigation felt like more than a complaint. It was a plea for the soul of the league. Because when athletes and coaches start questioning whether outcomes are determined by whistles instead of skill, the entire sport is at risk. This isn't the first time the WNBA has faced such a reckoning. Earlier this season, another controversy unfolded between the Minnesota Lynx and Washington Mystics. A clear foul during a crucial play was reviewed and inexplicably overturned, leaving fans in disbelief. The call was so egregious it became a viral sensation, fueling the growing narrative that the league's officiating was not just inconsistent but fundamentally broken. "You're telling me I have to respect WNBA officials when they miss calls like this?" one fan wrote, echoing the sentiment of thousands. For a league in the midst of unprecedented growth, this couldn't have come at a worse time. The WNBA is finally capturing mainstream attention. Driven by new stars like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Aliyah Boston, ratings are soaring, arenas are packed, and media coverage has never been more prominent. Yet with visibility comes accountability, and fans who are just discovering the sport won't tolerate a system that feels rigged. Every questionable review, every missed whistle, every inconsistent standard erodes confidence in what should be a fair competition. When people tune in to watch elite athletes battle, they expect authenticity, not interference. They want to believe that effort decides outcomes, not officiating bias. White's words have now drawn a line in the sand. Either the WNBA steps up to address this crisis head-on, or it risks losing the very credibility it's spent years fighting for. The stakes go beyond one team's playoff hopes, they touch the foundation of everything the league stands for. If fairness is compromised, so too is the trust of fans, players, and sponsors. Because sports thrive on belief, the belief that anything can happen, that underdogs can rise, and that every outcome is earned. Once that belief fades, the magic disappears. That is, the uproar grows. The WNBA faces a crossroads. It can either use this moment to reform its officiating standards, introduce transparency, and restore faith, or let the controversy define it. Silence will only make the problem worse. Every ignored complaint, every brushed aside concern, only fuels suspicion. The Fever's fight may have ended on the scoreboard, but the real battle has just begun, a fight for integrity, fairness, and respect. Stephanie White didn't just call out the referees, she called out the system. Her message wasn't just about her team, it was about the future of women's basketball. The WNBA now stands at a critical juncture. It can become a model of accountability and reform, or risk being remembered as the league that looked the other way when its integrity was questioned. The fans have spoken, the players have spoken, and now the ball is in the league's court. Do you think Stephanie White's demand for an investigation will bring real change to the WNBA, or will the silence from the top only deepen the cracks in the league's foundation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you care about fairness in sports as much as we do, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the truth behind every whistle.